Welcome to Childcare Rockstar Radio. I'm your host, Jennifer Connor, CEO of the Childcare Success Company. Childcare leaders around the globe are breaking through challenges, raising the standard of excellence, and building businesses that impact children, families, and communities in powerful new ways. On this show, we spotlight bold leadership, real strategies, and the innovators shaping the future of all early childhood education. All so you can grow stronger, lead with confidence, and step fully into your role as a childcare rock star. Let's begin. Welcome back to Childcare Rockstar Radio. I'm your host, Jennifer Connor, and CEO of the Childcare Success Company. And before we jump in today's episode, I just want to share something that we recently did that reminded me just why I love this work so much. What we did, we hosted a VIP day here at our new corporate office in New Orleans, and it was just a small group of owners. We had 4 of them, and we spent the day doing something that most owners don't do often enough in this industry. And what that was is we just slowed down and worked intentionally. What we did, we stepped away from the fires, the emails, staffing, enrollment, questions, all the things that normally fill your day. And we spent the time really working on their businesses. So looking at structures, decision flows, how their team operates, and the things that need to change for them to step into that next level of leadership. And I'll tell you something magical that happened. Leading that day was so impactful for me personally, because it reminded me of why I love this work so much, why I care so deeply about helping other childcare owners. Because sometimes when you're running a company, even one like ours that is built around helping others, you can still get caught up in the day-to-day, all the meeting, the projects, the responsibilities of leading the team. And being able to step out and host that VIP day pulled me back into my unique brilliance, the things that I love the most. And that was being able to sit down with these owners and just help them see their businesses differently, helping them slow down, helping them just step back in and helping them light up and realize what that next level of leadership looks like. And it's seldom about working harder. It's all about thinking differently. All right. So on today's episode, our guest is Toni Bedford, and she was one of the owners in that VIP room. Toni is the owner of Bedford Learning Programs. It's a network of 6 family childcare homes, and she has built an incredible organization, and she has a very strong leadership team around her. But like a lot of owners at that stage of growth, even with a great team in place, a lot of the decisions and leadership still kind of just naturally flowed back to her. And what we worked on throughout that VIP day and what she shares in this conversation is something we see a lot of successful founders go through. And there's no shortcut to building leaders. You can't just hand someone a task and expect them to grow, and you can't solve it by doing everything yourself either. Real leadership, it takes time, it takes development, it takes mentoring, it takes modeling, it takes being willing to slow down enough to show your team how to lead with intention. That was one of the moments in this conversation that really stuck out to me, because that is exactly what Toni did. And she talks about shifting from being the person that everything flows through to creating the clarity and the structure that allows her team to really step into that leadership role themselves. And what I really, really love about Toni's story is it's not about fixing a team. She already had a great team of people around her. It was about creating the kind of leadership structure that allowed her team to thrive. So if you're an owner and you feel like everything still gets routed back to you to solve, to answer, to do, even if you have a strong team, I think you're really, really going to love this conversation. So let's get into it. All right, welcome back to Childcare Rockstar Radio. I'm Jen Connor, your host and CEO of the Childcare Success Company, and I'm so excited. I have Toni Bedford with us here today. How are you doing, Toni?
I'm doing good.
Oh my gosh. So the reason why I was so excited to get you on this podcast is because recently you were here in our beautiful new corporate office on the North Shore of New Orleans. and you came to do a VIP day with us. And I was thinking back around to that VIP day, and you came in and you had built a really strong leadership team, but you were looking at like, how do I make my team stronger? How do I step more into the CEO role? How do I make sure like the company and the structure and the organization continues to grow? So I'm excited to have you here because I want you to take us back kind of like a little bit, like before that day, and give me a little information about your business, what was going on. What did your day to day look like before you came into that VIP day we had?
Okay, sure. So I started Bedford Learning Programs in 2013, and my programs are a little bit different because we have in-home programs. So I have multiple locations. I have 6 locations now. My goal is to have 10 one day, but that model has just always worked for me. I love being more responsive to families, being able to accommodate the needs of our families, and everybody I bring on really is on board with our philosophy with that. So that's always great. So in doing this, we have, with our 6 locations, we have a director at each location, but they are also a teacher in care. And so
Mhm.
outside of that, I have an admin team. Besides myself, I have 4 other people. And my admin team is amazing and great, but at the same time, I'm still an entrepreneur. And so I always want to hold on to things and keep things and kind of let everybody know how they exactly have to do it. And even though I've been in the academy for about 5 or 6 years, I still have never been able to let that go, like certain things. So I'm always kind of doing the day to day, finishing people's projects, or they can't finish their project unless they get the okay from me. So it was really important for me to make a big change. And I think doing the VIP day was like that perfect thing for me that really made a difference.
Yeah, I'm sure anyone listening that is a childcare owner can 100% relate to that. Stepping in is you're an entrepreneur, is your baby, you want to grow things, you want to be involved, you want to have those touch points. But when you start having multiple locations like this and they're spread out, there comes a point where you have to shift into I can't do everything. And now I have to create systems and structures so they can have ownership. And at the end of the day, like that's what it's about, right? Mentoring the people on our team so they can step into that. So you said you have a dream to have 10 locations, right?
Yes.
Oh
I
my
think,
goodness.
yeah, in the beginning, my reason for having more locations was actually so I could pay my staff better. I wanted to, at that time, minimum wage was lower, but in Oregon, actually, we actually have one of the highest minimum wages now. But, the cost of living was a lot, and, people in childcare don't get paid a lot. And so that was like my real goal is that I could, the more I had, the more, profit I had to put back into my company and my staff.
I love that, Tony, because that shows your heart and it shows your why and what you love about what you do. And I mean, childcare is not an easy profession to be in. It's a lot of regulations. It's a lot of, like it can be a lot of liability. It can be a lot of things. And being in it for the right reasons. And I love that you said is so you can really take care of your team. So tell me, speaking of your team, what do you think when you're so again, we're kind of like before the VIP day. So when you have your team and you're taking care of them, but then you're still stepping in and going, okay, I'll just do this, or let me help or let me move it along. What do you think? Was there any friction or any kind of where your team was like wanting to go, Toni, just let me have it, let me do this?
Always. They were always like that, I want to say. We actually, it also, as an entrepreneur, you're kind of always struggling with your personal life and family and
Mhm.
being able to balance that. And before the VIP day, we had something that happened to our family that really kind of took me away from the business. My husband and I ended up being foster parents to my 3 grandkids.
Mm.
And my grandkids were at the time 9 months, 1.5, and 4. And so,
Oh, starting
yes,
all over.
yes. And so, in addition to our three teenagers that we already had, I was putting kind of less into the company at that time because I had to be there for these children, and for my grandkids, of course, and my family. And so, with that, it kind of was a year and a half of everybody kind of seeing what that did really to the company, how I kind of was a little bit taken out of the company more. And then, I think once my husband and I settled in, there was just a point where I was like, okay, I really need to give these duties that I don't want to do anymore. Because I was doing stuff like billing and the schedule and the call outs. And I mean, a lot of owners are in that position. Maybe they can't
Mhm.
hire, admin team to do those different things. And so it was kind of like a realization, like, I don't have a choice. Like, I have to let go of these things, and really empower my team and give them confidence in to be able to run the company, because that is my ultimate goal, to be able to spend that time with my family and have my company run. I want to be the CEO and the vision and work on our philosophy and do advocacy and stuff. And so my goal before the VIP day was really to make a drastic change, and really empower them to make decisions, and we have them work on their leadership and my leadership at the same time.
I love that. And I mean, I just keep thinking back to the VIP day, and I feel like you did bring all that to the table and laid it out, and you were just open and honest and like, okay, how do I get this back into the hands of my team? How do I empower them? So I think throughout the whole process, you've been very aligned with everything you said you wanted to work on, and then even, bringing it back. And we'll get into kind of after the VIP day in a minute, but you really took everything from that and have been putting it into work. So
Mm-hmm.
before we get in a little bit more to the VIP day, I'm just curious, out of all these things you said, where do you think you were feeling like the most pressure? If there was like one pressure point as the owner you were feeling?
Um, I always have great relationships with my staff and my
Mhm.
admin, and it's always hard for me to see them struggle if I'm really not giving them 100%, or maybe the right leadership or the right trainings. I think that really weighed on me, and I want to retain. We're always focusing on retaining our staff.
Mhm.
That's actually one of our strongest points. And so that was really difficult for me. So I wanted to really find out what their roles needed to be and how I needed to help them, achieve those goals that
Yeah,
they
and
would
I
have.
I think that's a normal reaction to a lot of owners. We are very vested in our team. We're very close with our team. We want them to be successful. And especially in your case, from everything you've said, like, I did this so my team could have a good wages, a good living, a good life. And when we see pressure points in our team or pressure points in our business, we want to step in and help alleviate. Same thing as
Exactly.
moms
Yeah.
or parents, right? We're like, we want to step in
Yeah.
and like relieve that pressure valve.
Uh-huh.
But when that's unchecked, then it can lead to more situations where it just keeps compounding that redundancy, like on you, to where you have to be the one that steps in and you have to be the one that solves things. So, and I think that's probably fair to say that's kind of the pressure, right?
Yes, the
Like,
pressure is me doing, at the end of the day, I'm doing a little bit of everybody's jobs. And that is always difficult. Yeah, definitely.
so I know I sent you out an invitation. I said, Toni, I would love for you to come do this VIP day with me. And, for the people that are listening, the VIP day was amazing. We had a small group of owners come in. We had 4 owners, a couple of their team members come in, and we just dove into all the pieces that owners were struggling with. This one was mostly around like stepping into that CEO role, everything Toni just said, relieving that pressure, building out that structure, empowering people to really be able to run their businesses in line with vision, mission, core values, and just at the end of the day, make more impact on the children in the world. So for you in particular, when you got that invitation, and what do you think made you say like, yes, I want to do this? What were you hoping like we could figure out during that day? What was your one thing? Like if I leave here with this one thing, it'll be a success.
I think once I decided what my goal was, and of course talked to my husband, and my husband was there, so that was awesome. Um, I wanted to be able to accomplish it. So I think a lot of times we go to masterminds and we set these goals and sometimes forget about them, right? They're written
Mm-hmm.
down and we don't follow because the day to day gets going. And so I was really hyper focused on I'm going to take the advice of this VIP day, whatever they say, I'm going to do it and I'm going to implement it. And that's kind of what I've done. And so I was just really ready to whatever I needed to do, I was going to do it.
And I love that your husband came. It was so nice. And I think that just is a testament to everything you've built, what you stand for, and having him come with you and just be that supportive, not just husband, but business partner, just everything throughout all your moments. Sue, did he have a good time coming to New Orleans?
He did. No, he actually did. This was one of our most fun trips. I mean, the food was amazing, so that was a great part. But no, he actually really liked it. He really loved the VIP day. I think that even gave him insight because let's face it, at 6 in the morning when I have a call out, he's the one who's next to me. So he's like, "Yeah, we need to get you out of this and less of doing the day to day stuff."
Well, and I think in an industry that's been predominantly women for so long, and now there's so many more men in this industry, and not just in supporting or spousal roles, like they're coming in as owners, as coaches, as leading this movement with us. And I love that shift. We have a lot of men in our company, on our team. I know for me, when I was first a member and my husband came to one of our, gosh, I don't know, like way back in 2014, maybe, to one of our meetings, it was like an eye opener of, okay, I've just been seeing your side of what you come home with every day, what you say, what's your, all the issues, problems, or, opportunities and good things too. But coming and being in that room full of other owners and other people, it's very eye opening, and it unlocks, a new level of partnership. So I'm really glad he got to come and do that with
Yeah,
you.
that was great.
All right. So tell me about, like, if we wanted to say like there was a breakthrough piece, I knew I needed to come to the VIP day. I came, I knew what I was working on. Was there a moment that like your realization shifted, like the way you were looking at either at your organization or something that really clicked, or a lot of times we call it like our aha moment?
Yeah.
Was there like one moment that stood out to you?
I think from the beginning that VIP day was just different than other days.
Mhm.
First of all, Jen, you're amazing. Like how you ran it. So that was part of it. You haven't been one of my coaches yet. So I didn't have that relationship with you yet or seen you kind of in that kind of action. I think the questions that were answered were really insightful. And
Mhm.
it's not like you could just tell me what I needed to do. I had to realize what I needed to do and then come to it from that point of view. So when we sit in trainings, they're like, yeah, do this. But how this was, it was like, what is best for your company? Don't put
Mhm.
names on these admin positions that you need and what's best for the company. And then just the reflective questions that actually make you realize, yeah, this is what I really have to do. So I would say that was like the realization, and that's kind of how you started with everybody, and so
Mhm.
that was a different kind of thing.
Well, thank you for that, Tony. No, oh gosh, I love coaching. I really do. I love coaching. And I mean, I love my CEO role as well. But sometimes I do miss that really deep, intentional connection, which is why I loved coming up with the VIP days and having people here. So thank you for saying that. I had a blast, and that's kind of like my, we talk a lot sometimes about, your unique brilliance and where do you put yourself, on the things you would love to do, your why, like, why do you wake up every day? Why do you do this job? What, drives you, and being able just to come alongside people in this industry and help them see things in a different way. And I love that you said it's not to give someone an answer, because you can get answers all day long. You can go to conferences, you can go to events, you can listen to, webinars online. Like there's people giving advice everywhere. And it can be something you write down. Like you said, I can write down goals and then go back and day to day takes over. But there's something about that open space where you can just slow down and stop and have someone ask you questions and just kind of get everything else out the way and go, okay, what is it that I love? What do I love? What do I want? What is this blue sky picture of what I'm building? And I think that's what you were really able to do is here's this blue sky picture. So leaving this meeting and going back into your schools, what are some of the things that you took back and started to immediately do when you got back?
Well, it worked out well that the next weekend I had an admin retreat. So,
Perfect.
yes. So that was like perfect because, I had a 30-day goal and I already had something, happening within a week. But
Mm-hmm.
I think going back to my admin team, and I really did a lot of it like you did. I had the whiteboard, I had the org chart. I said, here are all the things I love and I'd like to, give to you guys in the different positions. And so I think I was able to do that with the team. The team was very excited. I kind of built it up a little bit like, I have something great happening. We're going to do a reset. So they were actually really excited for it. And for my retreats, we always go away somewhere. So we were
Mm-hmm.
on the lake. We had a lake view while I'm doing it.
Nice.
Yeah, so it was great. Um, but I think they really, when I presented it in this way, they really understood it. I also prepared a few different things. I had admin handbooks for each of them as far as their new positions and what that looked like. Of course, we are still continuing to go over those positions, and I'm doing a lot of training. I was able to time block my training with them, so I decided to each week I actually train with each of them for an hour, just on their positions. And so that was another thing that I realized. If you want to have this great team, you actually have to train them. You can't
Yes.
actually be like, hey, here's your position. Now think of some things. So, with that has been a different part for me as well, mentoring them and hopefully giving them the confidence that they can move forward in their position after I'm 100% not doing these tasks. And so really empowered them and myself, and we have kept that going. It's been 4 or 5 weeks now. And so
Mm-hmm.
each week I'm meeting with them and we're really diligent, going over different things. And not everything is offboarded to them all at once. I'm doing it, as they're ready to
Mm-hmm.
take those things on that I'm not doing, making sure that they're really confident in it. But it's actually going great.
I love that. So I love you said my reset meeting, because this is kind of like a catchphrase. And I don't know, I randomly had said this like years ago at one of our events. I was already scheduled to do a breakout, maybe I think at one of our summits. And right before the summit happened, I had to have a reset meeting with my team and make some structural changes. And I came to it and I'm like, part of what I was feeling, and I'm going to share, and I probably shared this during our VIP day, Toni, but for anybody listening, is sometimes we feel like we can't make so many changes at one time. Like we have to be incremental and maybe the impact doesn't stick because we're doing little by little. And I had my aha moment. It's like, no, we're going to make them all at one time. And we're just going to call it a reset meeting. And I had like this was back when I think whatever commercials on TV and they had like the big red button on the desk and they'd be like the easy button, I think,
Oh,
or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
So I had my reset button. It was like, we're resetting. And that way I didn't have to, one off all these conversations. It was just, we're resetting from here forward. This is what we're doing. And I love that you took that and it was perfect because you had your retreat at the water. I'm a water girl. I find peace anytime I'm at the
Yep,
water.
me too.
So I love that. Did you notice the new office? Like if you looked out the window, it's that little lake right outside. So even I can
Yes.
see water from here. Yes.
So great. So great. Yeah.
So when you laid this out and you gave them like, here's your reset, here's your new job descriptions, there's something that I want you to talk a little bit more about because we did talk about this during the VIP. It was that there's no shortcut to time, right? It's not about giving someone an updated job description or giving them a task list or just even hiring someone from begin with and saying, here you go. It's all about modeling, spending time with them, really ensuring that they're going to, of course, they're going to always do it their own way, but they're going to respond in situations similarly to what you believe in. So, talk more about this, how you're structuring this, and you put it time blocks, but what are you focusing on during these hours when you're doing the training?
So we started out because I gave them each a job description, but it was more like a handbook.
Mm-hmm.
We actually bring that up and we're just going through that handbook one thing but at a time so that they really understand what it is their job description, what the expectation is. So I think that's how we're really starting.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, I'm probably doing extra trainings with them because they do have some extensive things that, like going over the schedule. I mean, that takes longer than just an hour
Yeah.
training. So there are some things that are repeating, but it's really me mentoring, and really showing them how I'm doing it, not just telling them. So they're in with me doing the things, trying to help them that way, but more mentorship and guiding and being a leader rather than just like giving them that handbook and be like, okay, read it and let me know if you have any questions. And I think I missed that. And even though I was giving them trainings, those trainings are really about how you should do a process, but it may not be how we're going to do the process at Bedford Learning Programs. And so I think that changes a little bit. And so really making sure that, we have company core values, making sure that those are really inputted in everything that they do as well. So, kind of whatever they need, I'm trying to
Yeah.
work with them on if they're having struggles with anything. And um, I know one of the positions was my director of education. She's actually been with me for 7 years. And it was always an idea that she was going, like, when I'm gone, she's running the show. And so I think really at the VIP day, we kind of focused what that actually looked like more. And so I am able now to go back and train her better on that. And now she is regional. She's still doing education because she's an amazing teacher. But at the same time, she will have that regional director position where she is kind of overseeing the 6 locations in all kind of different aspects. And then sometimes those positions cross over with the admin team and what they're doing. And so I think for me to go back and really make a structured training for her, like here's over the next 6 months, here are the things I'm going to teach you on at different times, because again, this doesn't happen overnight. A lot of people at the VIP day, maybe they had a year, but mine was like, you know what, we can do this in 6 months. And so you really have to all that has to be planned out and it has to be intentional. So I think really having that intentionality with whatever you're implementing with your team is, extremely important.
So you said something really important that I just want to pull out of that and highlight. You said she's still doing education because she's a wonderful teacher, and I'm assuming she loves doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's so important, I think, for everyone to hear when you look at redesigning organizational structures or reworking job descriptions, that you don't take away something that is great with one of your team members when they love doing something and they're bringing results and they're fantastic at it, and that's their why they're there with
Yep,
you.
yep.
You don't take that away. And I love that you did that intentionally and just said, okay, how do we rearrange, but let's keep your passion in place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All
So I
right,
think,
I do have a question because I want to go and put yourself in your team's shoes for a second. I want to know when you came to this reset meeting and now you're starting to spend time with them, what were their thoughts? Were they like excited, happy, or did they have like feedback for you around this?
um, so I feel like I have a really trusting relationship with my team. And so a lot of the things that I implement, they are really trusting that, yep, this is Tony's vision, and they're
Mhm.
really on board. Um, I don't think I got any pushback on it, except for just like the follow through in the future. Like, are we really going to make sure this happens? Am I really
Mhm.
going to get, from their point of view, like, am I really going to get the training I need? Am I really going to get the support I need? That kind of thing. I think most people are concerned about when their job changes, like how that's going to look. And then to not make it seem so overwhelming as well. Like maybe some of them might have thought, wow, this is a different change, and maybe they're going to be overwhelming, but we are trying to do it in pieces to where it's not, as overwhelming.
I would imagine because you have such a strong team already in place that there was probably a part of them that were excited to see like, okay, now I get to learn more, I get to step up my game, I get to play a bigger game, and have more of an impact inside Bedford Learning, right? Like they get to
Yeah.
step up and see that now.
Yeah, I think definitely having them realize the importance and the important part that they play in the company with the things that they do definitely is part of that.
So, what do you think has been either the most surprising or the most proud moment you've had, like watching them do this transition into more ownership and less dependency on you?
Um, I think, it's been like 5 weeks. We haven't really gone backwards on it. So I like, sometimes you can get like everything's new and bright and shiny in the beginning, and then you kind of fall off sometimes. I think that we're just going strong still. And they do, they still come to me with questions and, things that they need help with and stuff. And of course, me, I'm still learning like, okay, I really need to respond this way, or I
Mhm.
need to, do this leadership training. I do a training with my admin team every week. And a lot of that is about mindset and just getting into the rhythms of the day to day stuff and how you can input standards even if things are chaotic. Childcare is
Mhm.
always going to be chaotic at certain times.
No.
It, you know what I mean? Like there's always that day to day. Someone always needs you. In my mind, I'm thinking about Tamina and the toilet paper right now, but something is always or they're asking you to get toilet paper and you're the owner. I'm like, who can get that? But that's always going to happen. And I think when you accept that, you just are setting yourself up for success more because you already planned that. You're already giving yourself grace for that kind of thing.
Yeah. And I'm just going to pull that back out and highlight it, emphasize it, right?
Uh-huh.
It is always about mindset in the owner leader team first, because when that mindset is not there, then that is when things go backwards.
Mm-hmm.
And it is a discipline to, like you said, kind of catch yourself like, oh, yeah, I did answer that. But it's also something that, okay, now I need to go put something in place or actually need to add that to the training topics. That way I don't have to answer it next time.
Yeah.
So it's a discipline and a mindset.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. So let's see. Hmm. How are you feeling? I know it had some, and we just said what, 4 or 5, it's been 5 weeks, right? It's been 5 weeks. How are you just feeling in general, like now compared to what you were 5 weeks ago?
I definitely think I'm more confident about what the future looks like and how, meeting this goal and on a path of success. And I know what the roadmap looks like. I think that's a big thing because when you are trained on things, you don't necessarily know exactly what it's going to look like. And I feel like the details that I got on the VIP day changed it enough to be like, this is exactly what I'm going to do. And this is what I can implement every single week and follow through with. And I think that is really changed. So I, excited to go to work, do my thing. I'm actually love coaching as well. I don't think many people know this, but I was in the cheerleading industry for 25 years. And
Oh,
so coaching and staffing and that kind of thing has always been, I love doing that. So the coaching part of my staff I really liked, and I don't think I had implemented it enough
hmm.
before because I was so doing the day to day. I mean, I didn't have time because I was doing too many of the daily operations. And so now that I can take a step back and coach my team, that empowers me and it makes me feel good. When they're happy and things are going well. Of course, we still have things that come up, but they're not the end of the world either. So I would say
So
I feel pretty good right now.
yeah, so I didn't know that about you, but it just made me think there's so much when we come into childcare. Like sometimes we forget to bring that previous version of ourselves with us.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
okay, like I know how to coach, but I didn't bring that to the team because day to day just took over. And now I love that you're bringing that back. I mean, I had similar ahas before I bought my first childcare center. I mean, I was in sales and marketing.
yeah,
Yet I went into childcare and it's like I forgot sales and marketing existed.
yeah.
I started learning this and I was like, of course I know how to do this. Like why haven't I?
Yeah.
So sometimes we forget to bring that version of ourselves with us, like all that life experiences and past, jobs and things that could go into what we're currently doing now. So I love that aha. You had to bring that back.
Mhm. Yeah.
All right. So I think probably let's do a wrap up question. I am curious if you could talk to the version of yourself before the VIP day, what would you tell her?
Ah. That is a good question. Lots of things. Probably that it's okay to let the things go and trust your team. Um, and I think so many people, especially like in the pods, like everybody has that trouble where they're just still holding on to things.
Mhm.
For me, I think it took something big in my life to be like, you don't have time to hold on to those things. Like you have your family, and I think um, setting a goal that's really important to you and moving forward with that and kind of not letting that day to day get you bogged down and really have a plan and intention moving forward to so that you can actually do what you love. So at the end of the day as well, I want to do advocacy, more
Mhm.
visioning, add more things to my program, that kind of thing. And so that's the thing I love about doing this job too. And I just haven't been able to do those things. And so probably going back to saying like it's okay, empower your team to be able to do what they need to do.
So I'll leave you with one bit of coaching advice on that because it's something I do practice as well. So it's a good question to go. If I could go back in time, what would I tell that version of myself? But then there's that realization like I don't have to wait and then go back in time. Like I can now go, what does my future self look like?
Mm-hmm.
What does my future version love? And I can sit in that space of what does my day look like? What do I do? What's going on in the business, what's going on with the team, what's going on with the, ECE industry, what's going on with our members.
Yeah.
And then I can vision that future. And then I can come back to not my past version, but my real version and go, okay, now what do I need to tell me here today to get to that future version? So it's always, and all that comes from having space, which is what the VIP day gave you, that space out of just the normal chaotic or whatever going on, and just the intentionality of having to do that. So I love that you came and spent the day, and we're doing follow-up. So we had our 30-day follow-up, so that's how I know Toni's on track. And then we're going to do a few more just to make sure that it doesn't fall off, because this is not a one and done. It's not like just something we're going to decide one day and then let it fall off the plate. So we're going to keep coming back to Toni and seeing how her progress is going.
And that's another thing I love too is those check-ins. to make sure that we're really doing what we should be doing.
Exactly. All right, Toni, do you have anything else to share with our listeners out here today?
I mean, I don't think so. Just, I know, I think we covered a lot. I feel like I said a lot, but this job is hard. It could be hard, and really kind of just figuring out what you love, I think, and what you want to do in the future is just where you should really start, rather than always worrying about the day-to-day stuff. Is think about more of what you love and what you want to get to instead of the other.
We're going to put a exclamation point at the end of that statement, and I think that's a wrap.
Okay.
Oh my goodness, that's powerful. All right, Toni, thank you so much for being here. And please share the shout out with your team as well, because I know that's a lot that they're doing and going through, and tell them that we see them too, and we hear it through you, and we're excited for them. So thanks for being here today, and I will see you soon. All right. Bye, everyone. Today's conversation helps raise standards in early childhood education. If it impacted you, then I want you to share it with another leader in our industry. Strong childcare businesses, they don't happen by accident. They're built by owners who choose to grow stronger and lead with confidence every single day. If you're ready to strengthen your enrollment, build a stronger team, and create real freedom in your business, then I want you to visit www.fixmyschool.com. From there, you'll watch a short training, and you can schedule a free business breakthrough call to get personalized support for your business. Keep leading boldly, and I'll see you next time.